Hey there, gang. It is time for another comic book unboxing video, and this time I have a little bit of a treat for you. We have some variant comics. Now, these are not like the modern mania for variant covers. These are true variants. These are variants from the Bronze Age, which denote books that went to entirely different sales streams than the norm. So if you like old comic books, if you like variant comic books, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghai. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video. And as I noted in the teaser, we've got some variant books. We're going to be looking at, we've got a few odds and ends in this box to work through, but mostly we're going to be looking at some DC Whitman books and also some Marvel British books. So these are pretty much the same as the regular editions, except they have some different flourishes on the cover, which denote them having been sold through sales streams other than the norm, the newsstand, or the, at that time, nascent direct sales shop industry. And so the Whitmans are books that were generally sold to department stores in like 3-packs. And we'll talk a bit more as we get into it. And then the British books, these are neat just because, I mean, these have crossed the pond twice. You know, they went over to be sold in the United Kingdom and I believe Ireland as well. And they have since crossed the pond back again to arrive here at our warehouse in Freeport, Maine, so they can be listed on eBay, sold to wherever. So these books have some miles on them, but they're in pretty good shape. So please do like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the groovy things. Don't forget to subscribe and comment, and you are automatically entered into the contest to win one of 2 Bronze Age mystery boxes. Who knows, some of the books that we're looking at could be in those boxes. Well, the boxes are already packed, so it would be, you know, the regular actual company version of these books rather than a Whitman or a UK book. But it could be the same story, the same issue number. No idea. So let's go ahead. We'll pull out the first little stack here, and as I said, some of these are some odds and ends. This box was mostly packed by our new guy. I've told you in some recent videos that unfortunately we had a person that we had to let go. But his replacement's working out. He knows his stuff, and as he's been going through our backstock, and you've seen the pictures I've shown you, we've just got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of long boxes, and he's been going through them with the primary responsibility of creating multi-book lots for sale on eBay. He's run across some books that he's known that, hey, that could be a raw single, that could be a one-issue lot. And so he's been putting those on my desk to be graded. And so, yeah, he knows what book's going to bring at least $10. And he also picked out all of these variants. So good on him. He is indeed working out. He knows his stuff. I give you his name, but I don't know if he wants to be doxxed. Yeah, I mean, even if I just told you his name, it's not like he's the only person in the world with that name. But still, yeah, I don't really have his permission. So here's the first book that he picked out, a silver edition of Spider-Man #1. It's about a bazillion of these, but they go for, you know, 10 or 15 bucks every time. Good pull. Spawn #9, first appearance of Angela. Amazing Spider-Man 257, newsstand edition. First appearance of not Puma, but I believe the Ned Leeds Hobgoblin. Something about the Hobgoblin first in this issue. Can't remember what it is. He pulled a couple of these. One is a direct sales, one is a newsstand. And this is Amazing Spider-Man 217, a Sandman Hydro-Man team-up that's very popular and does well in the back issue market. This is, what was this one? Oh, it's just an old, not a very high grade, but I've told you before, below about 102 or so, issue 102, you can sell an Amazing Spider-Man on eBay in just about any grade and get at least $10. So these are low grade, but still there's a 48. And this was 96, first of the 3-issue drug story that failed to meet the comics code. You see there's no CCA steel there. Did I say steel? I meant seal. Here we've got New Gods, #1. That's a nice pull. This one is one I want to do well. It's in pretty good shape. Probably, well, it might be a 6.5. But Magnus Robot Fighter, and this is a Whitman edition. So these books, were put out by Gold Key, and Whitman was a sister company to Gold Key, both divisions of Western Publishing. But the Whitmans are books that were sold in the 3-packs in the department store, mostly in 3-packs in department stores. And they put on this different logo just to differentiate them from the newsstand books so that, somebody didn't try and return a book that was, at least in theory, non-returnable. So, here's an Alpha Flight #1. We've seen about 1 million Alpha Flight #1s lately, but that was a $5 book for a lot of years, and lately it's a good, dependable $10 or $15 book. I think now we're going to start to get into some of the variants. Let us see here what we've got. What do we have? Bring out a stack here, and yes. So it looks just like the regular book, but if you notice up here in the corner, 10p, instead of, this would have been what, 30 or 35 cents, 10p is 10 pence. So this is a book that was originally sold in the United Kingdom, or again, I think these books also were sold in Ireland. Not 100% sure on that. If you know, leave a comment down below. So from here, we're just going to look at some cool Bronze Age books, but just keep in mind, these have crossed the pond twice. They went over to the United Kingdom, and they have since come back. And these should do well, because these are nowhere near as plentiful as the American editions. And so they are somewhat prized. And you get these will sell to people who, A, don't have the issue, because other than the price, it's pretty much an exact replica. So somebody who doesn't have Nova #4 might buy this, but there are also people who will have a #4, but again, variant mania, they will want this additional book as well. They'll want both. You get people who like to collect both the direct sales and newsstand editions of a book, even though the only difference is the presence or not of this UPC symbol. There are people who like to get these, even though the only difference is the price on it. But again, it's also the provenance that's just neat knowing where this book came from. That initially this sold on a newsstand somewhere over in the UK. So there's Nova #5, Nova #6, and you see here, instead of just Marvel Comics Group, it says Marvel All Color Comics, because some of the Marvel books were printed in black and white over there. And of course they've got the British spelling of color, because, the Brits don't know how to English, right? There's #7, here's #8. #9, you can see the price has increased to 12 pence. And I don't know how much a pence is, and I believe that since these books went on sale, the Brits have done a monetary reset of some kind. They moved, I think they still have pounds and pence and things like that, but they're slightly different. They're based on a decimal system now, whereas before they were, based on, I don't know, however much a pound of King Henry VIII's turd weighed or was worth. I don't know. And I have no idea what a pence is. That's, I don't like pence as a word. What does that even mean? I have no idea. If you know, leave a comment down below. And you can see that, the American edition, when you see this little splody price box, that's where it would have said probably still 25 cents. But they just stick the 12p in that same splody box. Here's a 10 pence of Captain America #200. 237, we're up to 12 pence. 239. Adventures into Fear with Morbius. 7 pence. That's a little older book, isn't it? And again, if you want to school me on pounds and pence and what they were worth then, here's Blade. Even though you're recognizing that it has changed, what a pence is now is different what a pence was at this point. I'm a big fan of P.G. Wodehouse, but I tell you, reading those books, he writes a lot about, British monetary system. Not about the system, but just, mentioning how much people are spending on this or that or the other thing. And also a lot about cricket. And even though I love those books, I have never been able to make hide and a hair out of the actual rules of cricket from how he describes it, or what their monetary system was like and how it worked. It took me the longest time to figure out that a quid and a pound are the same thing. It's just, it's like saying a dollar or a buck. And I guess to a Brit, like I say, what's the word pence even come from? They probably want to know, how does a buck relate to a dollar? So I haven't been shouting out the titles and the issue numbers. I presume that you can see that well enough. But these are all UK editions. Pretty neat, I think. You may think differently. That's okay. You're allowed to think what you want. I don't mind. So there's Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman at last face-to-face with Spider-Man. Even the Marvel Classic Comics, they did Treasure Island in British editions. Here's an older one. It's only 6p. Tomb of a Dracula number 8. Too bad we don't have a 10, right? Here's number 55, 56, 57, 60, 62. And here's a few more. Actually, flip that over. Boom. Shogun Warriors. Well, what do you think of that? That was based on a toy line, the Shogun Warriors were. Didn't last very long, the comic or the toy. This is kind of a bastard second cousin to Micronauts. And you can see them here. I don't need to tell you what you're looking at. I think the series ran about 20 issues or so. There's another stack with this asshole. Oh, they're upside down, damn it. Master of Kung Fu. 10p. Shaka Khan. Da-da-da, Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. Forget how that song goes. Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. That's all I can do. 51. What do we got here? Oh, wow. ROM number 1. ROM number 1. That's also based on a toy. Although this was a pretty good series by Bill Mantlo. Oh, there's my phone going off. Okay, had to take that call. ROM number 1. So, Omega number 1, Omega the Unknown, has kind of a cult status. I don't know if it's the greatest book that ever was, but here it is in a British variant. There's some Hulk action for you, some Electro action, just some guy in a yellow jumpsuit action, Standard poster cover action. The Wrench. Huh. The Wrench and the Wench. I'm going to hell. Skull the Slayer. I don't know why, but I dig this series. It didn't last that long, but it's just one of those kind of post-apocalyptic John Carter Killraven kind of things. And this didn't last that long either, only about 8 issues or so. Here's number 7. And what I think is the last issue, number 8. Now, this one is a pretty hefty stack here. This looks like it's all going to be the same title. And it is Iron Man. Iron Man, Iron Man, does whatever iron can. Is he strong? Yes, indeed. He's got iron for a sleeve. Oh, yeah. Here come the Iron Man. So, some fairly early issues. 74, 75, 76 with the Hulk, 77, 9 Pencers, color with a U, 78, Dr. Kurakil. Not the best cover ever. That's a Jack Kirby cover. Kirby's kind of on a downward spiral at this point in the mid-70s. 81, 82, 84. Blizzard. I always like the Blizzard. 87. Blood Brother. 88. Look, side by side with Daredevil. 90. 91. 93. 94. I don't really have a lot to say. I'll just let you look. You can talk amongst yourselves, I guess. 97. 98 with Sunfire. 99, I think this was my first issue of Iron Man as a kid. 103, Jack of Hearts. I don't know if is that the first Jack of Hearts, or was it 102? It's somewhere in that neighborhood. Look at this. You've got the Melter, Blizzard, Whiplash, all of the bad guys. Bob Layton. So this is really a classic run right in through here. This Bob Layton run is well worth your time to put together. More Blizzard action. There's an early appearance of the Scott Lang Ant-Man. We're up to 12 pence at this point. 126. Do you think we're going to have the Demon in a Bottle? 127. 129. No, we don't. We skipped it, didn't we? It's 128. 132 with Hulk. 133 with some more Scott Lang Ant-Man. Who's the redhead? I forget. She was big at this time. And I've sort of forgotten all. That's not Pepper, is it? I don't think that's Pepper. That's Rhodey for sure. Can't remember. It's been 35, 40 years since I read those comics. So when I tell you the Bob Layton run was awesome, maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it's crap. You tell me in the comments below. Sergeant Fury, fairly late run, 107. 132, that's obviously a reprint of an earlier issue. Rawhide Kid, 151. I think that's the last issue. So the last issue of Rawhide Kid in a British variant. Well, I say British, but again, I think they were on sale in Ireland too. Now, is this next stack our Whitmans? I'm not sure. Yes. Yes, indeed. So Whitmans, kind of like the British variants, they are just the same as the regular editions, came out at the same time. The only difference is they've got this Whitman logo in place of the DC. And the Whitmans didn't have an issue number on them, so that kind of made them a little pain in the ass. Oh, and the UPC is gone. So these are basically, direct sales copies, but altered somewhat. But, when you get these in high grade, they'll bring twice what the regular issue does. And that is largely because of scarcity, because these books were sold in department stores in 3-packs. They tended to be purchased by, moms and grandmoms for their kids, and generally younger kids. And so, there were fewer of them to begin with. Well, now I guess we're on to some turtle stuff. There are fewer of them to begin with, and then fewer of them survived in high grade because they were kind of manhandled by just regular old kids who maybe loved them a little too much. And then when the kid went to school, to college, Mom or Grandmom threw them away. So, there are more Whitmans than this in this box, but here are some turtle stuff. There's number 8. And here's number 9. And now we're back into some Whitmans. That's Calendar Man on here. Brave and the Bold. Red Tornado. The Flash. Phantom Stranger. Great Jim Aparo art. There's another one with Calendar Man. There's another one with Calendar Man. Wow. That's the Spider, or sometimes referred to as the Black Spider. Dr. Phosphorus. Look how scared Batgirl is. She's like literally going to crap herself. Well, I mean, not that I blame her. Yeah, if I saw a big glowing skeleton coming at me, I'd pull a Scooby-Doo as well. So let's see what else we've got here in this box. I think this is more variants. Oh, no, this is, this is interesting. This is Deathstroke the Terminator, number 6, signed by Mike Zeck, the cover artist. And that's number 128 of 400, so that's kind of cool. Sometimes you'll see these and they're like of 5,000, of 10,000, but Mike Zeck only signed 400 of them, and there's number 128. That's neat. Be interesting to see how that does. Here's some, these all upside down. Yes. Yes. Spawn number 2. And number 8. Do you need an Alpha Flight number 1? Newsstand edition? No? Okay. How about a direct sales edition? Are you sure? Because I've got one. I'm serious. If you need one, I've got it. Here's the World's Finest Comics. That's a decent pull out of one of those boxes. Those inventory boxes. This is a fun one. What's that say on the cover there? Mike Henson. So Mike Henson, if you're watching, I've got your comic book, brother. And I'm gonna sell it. You can't have it back. Silver edition of Spider-Man number 1. Chew 12. Now, I don't know what's special about this. Is this an alternate cover of some kind, or is Chew just really popular? Is there people, there fans out there with a rooster fetish? Like the bronies? Are there roosties? I have no idea. There's another newsstand of the wedding. All right. Random backing board. Let's see what else we got. I think the rest of this box is actually stuff I pulled, and some of it I am looking through the comic book market with rose-colored glasses. That Arak #1 is probably going to go for about $2, but I really want it to do well. So I figure if I keep putting up issues of Arak, Son of Thunder, somebody will, people will start buying. They'll be like, oh my God, that must be a thing. And actually, if you go on our listings on eBay, our fixed price listings, the buy it now, I've got 2 lots of Arak up there for just a little bit more than $1 a book. I've got one that's I think 1 through 28, and another lot that's like 1 through 34. So another silver Spider-Man. Incredible Hulk versus Wolverine. That reprints the first appearance from Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, Hulk 181. Godzilla #1. That's a good book. Here's #2, also a good book. Here's some more Whitmans. It's a classic Two-Face cover. This one is not a Whitman, but this is the first Jason Todd in the Robin costume. There's Spider-Man 113. Here's some more of this 257, and we've got a bunch of them. First appearance of Cable, but the gold, I believe this is the second print. Here's another Spawn #9. Running out of space in the desk here, but this is the last stack in this box. And this is cool. Forbidden Worlds, American Comics Group with Magic Man. And that is what number is that? 125? Look out, it's Magic Man. And here's Little Green Man. And Lou Wall, I think, was Lou Wall a pseudonym for Kurt Schaffenberger? He had about a dozen pen names for ACG, and I don't know why, because his style is so distinctive, although this is a little hard to tell. And here is the Gala 100th issue of Forbidden Worlds. So that's pretty neat. Star Trek #1, this is another wishful think on my part. I don't know if that's going to get to $10 or not, but I just feel like it should. Spider-Man Chapter 1 #2, and this is another one that is a Dynamic Forces alternate cover. An exclusive Dynamic Forces cover, number 7578. Here's another Alpha Flight #1, just in case you need one. The Outer Limits from Dell, based on the TV show. This one, I had this up on my Instagram. I was kind of taking a poll, and not a lot of people responded. Just one person, actually. So why don't you follow me on Instagram? I need some more followers. I just started a comic book specific Instagram. My old handle was Durgo Duke. That's still up, but that's more personal stuff. Shanghala is the Instagram. Give that a follow. But I had this up there. This is X-Men #2, coverless, and I was like, well, what do you think? Should that go into a lot, or would you try and sell that as a single? You think without a cover, that's going to bring at least $10? And I decided, and the one person who responded agreed with me, that yes, we'll try that as a single. Morlock 2001, #1, from the short-lived Atlas Comics line. So if you don't know, after Martin Goodman sold Marvel Comics to, what was it, Perfect Film and Chemical Corporation, which eventually merged with other companies to become the Candidates Corporation, and then sold several times across the corporate landscape. But Martin Goodman was the publisher of Marvel, and after he sold the company, he had a no-compete clause, and then after a couple of years, because I think he sold it in like 69, something like that. So in 75, he started another comic book company using the Atlas line. Atlas was his distributor, cell phone distributor of the 1950s that he eventually shut down and then threw in with American News, and American News quickly folded, and he ended up with DC's distributor, Independent News. But a lot of the 50s Marvel books have that. The only logo they have on them is the Atlas logo, which is not a company name. That was the name of the distributor. But anyway, he restarted this company as Atlas Comics. It's also known as Seaboard Periodicals to sort of avoid confusion with the 50s version of Atlas. And unfortunately, although they had a lot of name creators, I mean, here you got Al Milgrom and Dick Giordano on doing the cover here, and they had Howard Chaykin and Steve Ditko and a lot of name creators, but the company didn't last that long. It was killed pretty much by distribution woes. So most of these books only lasted 3 or 4 issues, some of them only 1. Morlock, I believe, lasted 3 issues, although the third one kind of changes title and direction a little bit. It becomes Morlock and the Midnight Men. But yeah, that's cool. And then we have the DC's version of The Shadow. I can't remember if it was this box or the last box. We saw an issue of Batman that guest starred The Shadow that came out right about the same time. So there's number 2, pretty high grade. Number 3, also fairly high grade. And number 6. Oh, and lastly, last book in the box. I love this cover, by the way. That's number 4. And that's it. That is that box. So I hope you enjoyed looking at that. A few odds and ends, some UK variants, some Whitman variants. A lot of fun to be had there. And until the next box, until we meet again, I say as always, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.